Hey, what's up everybody? This is Lee from Adventure FPV, and I know the internet has already been flooded with remote ID videos, and I basically just want to use this opportunity to give you my perspective before things go into effect on September 16th of 2023. The community is definitely pretty divided with how they feel about remote ID, but I can say that most people are not thrilled about this. We really do need to stick together as a community. GPS pilots, FPV enthusiasts, commercial operators and hobbyists, all of us need to stick together. We each have to make our own decision on whether or not we're going to comply with these new rules. I want to make it clear that I won't judge you regardless of the path you take. We each have different responsibilities and levels of involvement within the UAS community. Some of us are hobbyists who just want to go out and have a good time, while others are in it for commercial work or a combination of both. Personally, I've been flying drones since 2013, and I've had my commercial 107 license since 2016. I engage in commercial work such as real estate, advertising, construction projects, and of course, hosting this YouTube channel, which is monetized. So in order for me to continue operating this channel as I have for the past few years, as well as continue to serve the clients that I have, I'm going to have to comply with remote ID, just like I've complied with the other rules like registration, airspace restriction, and more. Do I like remote ID rules? No, I don't. I think they are dystopian, they're a little Orwellian, they're over the top. Every single drone that's flying for commercial use at any time, even in your backyard, that has to be tracked is crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. But this is where we're at, and if we want to undo the rules, we're gonna have to do it after they go into effect. I personally have a number of concerns with remote ID, particularly regarding safety, security. I know you've heard lots of those arguments out there, but what happens if your module is stolen? What happens if your Drone Zone account is hacked and someone takes your serial number and applies it to a different aircraft, or vice versa? What if they put one on your aircraft? What happens when a bad actor turns on a remote ID module at a football game or at an airport? Is it gonna stop the game? Is it gonna shut down the airport? These are things I don't think have really been thought through that well. Another huge concern that I have is third-party companies holding onto this data. So there's gonna be antennas placed around that could potentially be picking up your remote ID signal and logging it basically forever. I mean, what's gonna happen if 1 or 2 years from now, you get a call from like an environmental group saying that you flew your drone a year and a half ago over a mountaintop that they found some protected bird species on? I mean, it's gonna be a legal minefield. And I know some of you are just gonna say, just don't comply, then they won't know. I mean, that is right. But if there's some sort of an incident, something happens and you are contacted by the police, or there's an injury or property damage, it's gonna come down to asking whether or not you have that module on your drone, whether you're in compliance. And it's gonna make the situation a hell of a lot worse if you were not in compliance. I personally have like 20 aircraft, so I'm either gonna have to sell some of these drones or find a way to make them compliant that doesn't break the bank. If you are Part 107, you have to have remote ID on all of your drones, whether they're sub 250 or not. And how's that even gonna work? I mean, some of these drones are gonna just be too small. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel that's monetized, technically you need a Part 107 license. So how are you ever gonna review a sub 250 gram drone outdoors? What if it's really small and it's not even able to carry one of these? You're either just gonna be breaking the law, or, I mean, what? How's that gonna work out? What if you fly a sub 250 gram drone for Part 107 work with a naked GoPro, and you're filming events, you're filming a concert and things like that? You're already pushing the limits of this quad with its weight. So we're gonna add a remote ID module, or maybe now we can't fly that. So commercial use over people with a sub 250 is gonna be out the window. I don't know, I just have a lot of questions. I mean, there are countless compelling arguments against remote ID. I'm not gonna delve into all of my arguments. I think they've been on repeat on YouTube over and over again. The purpose of this video is just to share my stance with you. Maybe you're in the same situation I am, maybe you're not, but we are all in this together, and the future of the hobby depends on how we approach this. For me, commercial drone work is a big part of my family's income. So I won't stop flying or producing content solely due to these remote ID legislation rules. Therefore, I need to comply to avoid being fined or shut down. This hobby means a lot to me and so many other people, so let's not let this divide us, please. There are already enough things in this world that divide us. Let's not make our hobby one of them. And remember, just because you don't intend to comply or ever become Part 107 certified, doesn't mean you should be angry with those who choose to. Hopefully the FAA will learn some lessons from the initial deployment of Remote ID and make certain adjustments, such as reconsidering the weight limits or potentially being able to move your module from drone to drone for Part 107 users. I mean, these things are just, they don't make any sense. So hopefully that comes to light pretty quickly. I'm not seeking validation for my decisions. I genuinely don't care about the choices you choose to make. I don't care if you choose to pay your taxes or if you speed on the highway. We're each adults and need to make our own decisions, and this is my decision. Now, I've already purchased the DroneTag Beacon, and I'm exploring some more of the DIY options like the BS unit. I'm working with a couple of manufacturers to kind of find the best, most cost-effective solution for, Part 107 pilots who have multiple aircraft and need to basically line up their whole fleet with these modules. Got to figure out what the best way is to do this. No matter where you stand on this issue, I respect your decision, and I appreciate you sticking around till the end of the video. We need to have more civil conversations about this and stick together as a community. We'll see you in the next one.